Hello everyone! Happy Friday! This does not feel like a Friday to me, but hopefully it does to you. Happy Friday, how's it all going? Let me know what's going on, where you are, what's going on in your studio, and your life, more broadly. Any fun plans for the weekend? We are on day 4 of our 5 days of our birthday live parties. It's not the right way around for those words, but that's okay. So this is day 4. Tomorrow will be the last day, and we're going live tomorrow 1 hour later than this time today. Okay, so it's a little bit later. And it's going to be kind of interesting for me because it's like the last thing I'm doing before I'm then off and getting ready to go to Alberta, Canada. So it's going to be fun to party on out from the office at that point and go pack my bags. I think I'm going on Monday morning. So yeah, welcome to day 4. What are you celebrating today? Let me know. Today, I guess I'm celebrating, personally myself. I'm going to celebrate that I took a long break today because I haven't done that since the world of Tanara imploded and all of that. So I had a long break to kind of recenter my brain, I guess, before this live. We're feeling good again, and I'm happy to be here. So that's what I'm going to celebrate. What are you celebrating? What fun things have happened in your studio lately or in your life? What wonderful breaks have you taken? Whether it was sitting on the couch watching Netflix, or whether it was going up a mountain, or whatever fun things you're doing, let me know if you had some good time off, even if it's just an extended break as well. Hello to Deanna and Serena and Juliet, Donna, Marilyn, and Marie, first into the chat, well done. And Kelly, Rossio, Janelle is here, Laura, Rachel, MJ. Awesome to see you all. You're all very welcome here. And today's word of the day is effective. So we're thinking about what it means to be an effective music teacher. Oh, I love that as a break. Camping with your daughter. Very basic camping. Doesn't matter how basic. That's great. You're getting away from everything, truly, in that way. Not just hanging out with your dog like me. So, yeah, that's awesome. So, news today. Oh, Serena, that's great as well. Some of my students are applying for exams on Monday. Fantastic. So to catch you up on a bit of news before we dive into this idea of effective and what that could mean. What could that mean to us? Before we get to that, just a few bits of news. So first of all, as I've been saying all week, the price of Vibrant Music Teaching membership is going up on Monday. So if you're not a member yet, now is the time to join, because you then lock in that rate, our current rate, for as long as you're a member. And you won't have to pay the new fee when it goes up. So it's the best value it's ever going to be right now. And then it just keeps getting better because more stuff gets added every month. So now is the time to sign up if you're not already a member. If you are a member, please, please, please don't worry. Your price is not going up. No matter what rate you're on, you keep that as long as you're a member. And we have members who are still with us from like the first day we launched Vibrant Music Teaching, when it was just the games library and nothing else was in there. So people keep their rate as long as they stay a member, which is fun. And my other bit of news, I want to say this at the start just because I feel like I'm going to forget if I leave it till the end. So if this doesn't pertain to you, please just, turn off your ears for a minute if you're not interested. But in this continuing Tanara saga, I just wanted to give you the latest update. So Tanara is a practice app. If you're not caught up with this, and it announced that it's closing down. We also just recently launched our own practice app, which is called Vivid Practice. So it's at vividpractice.com. And one of the other big practice apps out there that a lot of people love is called Practice Space. And they announced the other day that they are now able to import Tanara assignments. Okay, so they're able to take that assignment database you have on Tanara and import it into Practice Space. I hadn't said anything, but this is something we have been looking into as well. I didn't want to say anything until I could be more certain, but in light of them coming out with their feature, I did want to let you all know that we're we've been looking into the same thing. It's just not quite at the complete stage that theirs is quite yet, but we should have more news on that next week. So that's what the developers are working on at the minute. Is there a way for us to do this as well, to import that data? It's all different because you're taking it from one place and putting it into another place where there's a different setup. So we need to look at, can we definitely do this in a way that's going to be really nice and helpful for you? We hope that we can, but I don't want to make any guarantees until we've actually done it, okay? So that's the first part of this news. The second part that I just want to say is, and this isn't against practice space or against, it could be against us, but what I want to say is, don't make this decision based on that. So if you were with Tanara and you're feeling all panicky right now, I get it. It's really stressful to have all of this data to try and get out of Tanara to put it somewhere new, right? So it can be tempting when we're in that mindset, and believe me, I've been there with other decisions like this, to make the decision that causes you the least present pain. And right now that's going to feel like practice space or us once we launch our tool. So my word of caution is just don't make this decision based on that, because that's a temporary situation you're in. It's painful and it's really annoying, but you should make this decision based on the best tool for you and your students, the one that fits with your studio and your ethos the best. Okay? So I'm not saying that's us. It could be practice space. It could be someone else that doesn't have an import tool and yes, will cause you more pain initially to set it up. But if it's the right tool for you to go to, I believe that's worth it. So that's my little speech for today. I don't know. I was going to say, what is the thing? Soapbox? That's the American phrase, right? That's my soapbox. I'll get down off my soapbox. Probably using all these phrases wrong. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to put out there into the universe. If you're thinking about where am I going to go next, please think about what's the philosophy behind the app you're going to use, and does it align with how you teach and how you want to present practice to your students? Because that's what really matters. As well as, does it save you the time in setting up assignments and stuff, which a lot of these tools will, because that's kind of built into having a library of assignments. I'm not sure if it was well said, but I hope it came across as heartfelt. I mean what I say. If it's not us, that's fine. That's not the point. The point is pick the right tool for you, not based on this short-term pain. So, with that out of the way, let's set that aside and let's have some fun and let's talk about effective teaching. So what does it mean to be effective? I was thinking about this word a lot in preparation for this, last week when I was preparing my notes, but even today, new things were occurring to me. And I want us to start with this. What is the end goal? Because effective is one of those words that's kind of overused, like productivity sometimes, or efficiency, words like that. That we use them a lot without really thinking about what the end point is for them or their real meaning. So what does effective mean? It's an important word in teaching, but we have to know where we're going. We have to know what our goal is with our teaching. Otherwise, we cannot possibly be effective, can we? Because then we're effective in the wrong direction, which isn't effective at all, right? If we're extremely effective at, teaching our students to count out loud, but that tool doesn't actually help them, well then we weren't effective. So what is the end goal? Where are we going? My studio, I pride us on being broad. We are not specialized. We're broad. I often talk about opening all the doors for my students, making sure they know all these doors are there. So improvisation, composing, arranging, reading music, all of these things should be open to them. And they're only really open to you if you not just know what those things are, but you've really tried and got to a beginner level, at least, with all of those areas. So that is where I'm trying to go. And then students start to forge their own path and go a little bit further in one area and less in another, like different genres of music appeal to them and don't appeal to them. And some stay broad, like me, right? I'm not specialist in any one area. My background in lessons is largely classical and I did all the exams and stuff, but I don't consider myself a classical specialist in the way some of wonderful teachers out there are. So I'm still broad. My students can be specialists, but you can only be a specialist in the area of your choice if you know that those areas exist and are available to you and you have enough tools to get going with them, to experiment with them, right? If you have never ever improvised and then someone asks you, hey, do you like to improvise? Do you want to learn more about that? Most kids are going to be like, no. And it's not because they wouldn't enjoy it. Maybe they wouldn't. But it's because it's scary and it's unknown. It's like when some parents do a very good job of presenting performance opportunities to their children. So when we say, oh, we're doing like the silent film thing we're doing in a couple of months, okay? So they're going to be playing along with the silent film. I explain it as best as I can to the parents and try and make it clear. And then they do need to have that chat with their child as well as us having it in the studio. And some parents do a very good job of explaining it because their child is not going to know what that's like, right? You have to tell them, okay, so it's going to be in a cinema. Do you remember going to a cinema before? What's that like? It's big, it's dark. And then you have to explain to them who's going to be in the audience. It's not the public. In our case, it's only invited friends and family. You're going to play with this film. What's that going to feel like? Right? As best as they can, they explain that before involving their child in that decision. And some parents just say, hey, do you want to do this silent film thing? And the child is going, I remember something about that, but I don't really remember what it is. And if they're a child that's a bit more nervous of new situations, they're just going to say no. So that's the same thing I'm talking about with the improvisation. I want to have my students exposed to all these different things. All of this to say, that's my end goal, is this broad spectrum of music. I want my students to have enough skills, competent skills in all of these areas so that they can explore the one that connects them the best way to music. So that I don't close us off from students who learn in a different way, who are never going to really love reading like I love reading, right? That is our end goal. But what is yours? Because if we don't know what it is, we can't be effective in moving towards it. So then we start to drill down from there. If my teaching is going to be effective towards this goal of balancing all these things really, and teaching good beginner skills in all of them, then I need to plan for all of those things to be included in lessons at the, bird's eye view level. And I need to then take that down to the month and to the week, what we're doing in an individual lesson. It won't be all of those things every time, but I need to have my mind on the big picture in order to get down to the nitty-gritty. And then within the lesson, I need to teach in ways that stick. I need to have them learn things that really matter towards whatever we're working on at that time, and that scaffold their learning in a right way, that it's going to stick, that they're going to feel competent in all these different areas. It's a big goal, but that's where I'm trying to go, and that's what I'm trying to be effective towards. I need this learning to be durable in every area, not just with reading, not just with one thing, but I need their learning to be durable, to give them confidence, and I need my students to be enthusiastic about the material we're learning, right? And feel competent going home, whatever they're working on at home, competent enough and confident in their competency to go home and to practice that. So my learning is structured in a way, or my lessons are structured in a way that makes that happen. And that's what I class as being effective lessons, right? All the games and the improv we do to teach scales and all these different things we do. They're because those make my lessons, I believe, the teaching more effective for the types of students I teach, for them to feel confident in what they're doing, and for the learning to last over the long term. So that when they come back to these various skills later, they still feel like, yeah, I get this. Like, I remember most of how this works. I have enough information to give this a go. So, I'm going to check in with the chat now and see what effective means to you. Keep adding your thoughts. Serena said, effective teaching means imparting knowledge to students in ways they understand and enjoy, but might prove more time-consuming for the teacher. Yeah, often does mean it's more time-consuming. Doesn't have to be in every case, I would say. Finding new resources, spending more time. Particular pieces they're struggling with, yeah. I like that idea of being a broad piano studio. That's how I feel exactly. I want to expose them to many different areas of music and then see what area they gravitate to. Yeah, and you need to be exposed for several years, especially for kids, right, who don't have such solid opinions about things. You usually need at least a few years, maybe even 5, to get to a level where you really understand all these areas and you can start to gravitate more one way or another. I don't think we're being fair to our students if we just give them tasters and then they go one direction, unless they just have this particular focus and interest, and that's fair enough. But for most students, we have to keep things broad, I think, for this 3 to 5 year period, depending on how young they are when they start. And then we start to give them more and more choice over what it is they're doing, right? And you start to see their personality come out in the music they're choosing, in the kinds of projects they're doing. Sarah asked, I have a transfer student who only likes to improvise, although it's not really improv as much as it is just fishing around the notes to play something. Yeah, I wouldn't really call that improv, but we'll get back to that. I've yet to hear him play one piece as written. I don't want to crush his improv spirit, but how can I help him understand the importance of learning and playing written pieces too? This is interesting because it depends where it comes from. And learning and fishing around on the notes, and you said he's a transfer student, right? So we often don't know what they don't know. And that might be part of the picture here. Again, without knowing him, I'm just throwing some ideas out there, okay, Sarah? Which is that maybe he doesn't believe he can play it. Or maybe he thinks all written music is boring, as it is, right? And I think often it can present as being the first thing, and he might even say, the second thing. And he might even say it's the second thing, that it's boring or that he doesn't like to play it exactly what's on the page. But often that's disguising the first thing is happening. There's some fundamental missing knowledge, missing ability, missing skill that hasn't been developed by the previous teacher, or just he didn't pick up on it or whatever. We're not into teacher blaming here, but we're in this circumstance where maybe he cannot read the level of music he is supposed to be reading. Or it could be the opposite, that it's too easy and he's getting bored. But I think if we take students' ideas for what they want to learn and their direction on board, I've never had a student that I've done that with genuinely and openly that has actually been against reading in the end. I've had students who find reading extremely challenging, and we come to a sort of not compromise between me and them, but compromise in terms of what counts as reading with them. And that's, because of learning differences or additional needs they have. And that's a different story. But yeah, I would try and figure out, is it too easy or too hard? That would be my first instinct. Is the reading material too easy? Is it too hard? Because that's often where these issues come in. And then outside of that, are you giving him opportunities to compose his own pieces, to actually improvise, and maybe to figure things out by ear? Maybe his ear is stronger than his reading. Because when I said I wouldn't call that improv, I meant that's probably playing by ear more than it is improv, right? You're picking out notes, kind of pecking at notes until you find what you think is the right one. And it's often not entirely all the right notes on the page. that's kind of playing by ear more than it is improv, in my view. Hope some of that rambling helps, Sarah. For them to fall in love with music, yes. It comes back to what I was saying, which is, how can they fall in love with music if they haven't met all the different ways that you can be involved in music, right? And then you have all these options, and you can choose to keep all of them, or you can choose, this is really how I connect to music, this one door over here. And that's great. But it gives more students more opportunities to fall in love with music, as you say. Most effective lessons usually come out of carefully crafted lesson planning. Isn't it true, right? We need to put our planning in. Love it when a game makes a concept stick. Yes, absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I love that too. So let's ask ourselves, if you've thought about what effective means to you, in other words, where are you going? And what does it mean to have an effective lesson that moves you in that right direction? Then let's think about how can we be more effective. So maybe it is, as Julie said, planning effectively. Maybe it is using games to teach concepts more effectively. Or managing your own time within the lesson. Even if you've planned it out, maybe you struggle with time management. There's so many different areas where we can improve our effectiveness as teachers. And I think we're never done. I'm going to throw out my piece of advice that I often give that isn't always welcome, but I'm going to say it anyway. If you want to make your teaching more effective, and we all can be more effective, me, you, everyone. If you want to make it more effective, my number one tip is to record your teaching. Take videos of yourself and watch them. Notice where the student is not getting it and you thought they were in the moment you thought it, but then you watch the video and you say, oh, that's where they lost me. Or where you explain something where you could have experienced it together. Or where you just wasted some time. We all waste some lesson time. Where can you cut out those wasted pockets of time, right? That's the best thing you can do for your teaching. It's not fun. Not going to lie to you. Tomorrow's topic is fun. This isn't a fun activity. Watching yourself is no one's idea of fun. And I say that as someone who records a lot of videos, right? And then has to edit them. It's not fun. Nobody loves it. I mean, maybe someone does, but I think they're pretty... Yeah, I think they have bigger problems. So, it won't be really, really fun to watch your own teaching. But it will be worth it. That's all I can say about that. Scary but effective. Yes. Effective at making you more effective. Okay, we're going to do our prize drawing now on that wonderful note. And we're going to pick a winner. So members who have put their name in for the drawing are in my spinner. Here she is. And we're going to spin it and choose our penultimate winner and open their present. Only for it to then be wrapped again and sent to them. But that's part of the fun. Here we go. Can pretend that's a drum roll. How? I mean, that's like Kismet or something. That was the last comment I pulled up on the screen. Congratulations, Laura. That's amazing. What? I can't believe that. I know, coincidences happen more often than we think, but that's bizarre, isn't it? Wow. Okay. Well, we're going to vote on which present you get to open, Laura. You get to receive. We're going to open it now. So we got a yellow one and a red one. Yellow or red, people? Write in the chat. Including Laura. You can vote on your own present if you like. While I'm waiting, Sarah had this to say. Agree that it's not improv. It does seem like maybe he's covering up that he doesn't know. Yeah, and that's tough. And you have to take your time building up the trust with him, doing fun activities that are surreptitiously helping him learn the theory that you think he's missing. Okay. Oh, this is pretty even. Well, she's not voting. Okay. Right. I might have to count today. Oh, no, maybe I don't. Maybe there's more yellows, are there? Yeah, there's more yellows than reds. Okay. Here we go. Here she is. She's small, but she's kind of heavy. By now, I've forgotten which one is which. Even though we're down to 2, I'm like, I don't remember what's in here. I know it's something good. Okay, I'm gonna open it up. Ready for the rustling, everybody. Oh, that wasn't too rustly. Here we go, though. Oh yeah, this one. Okay, cool. Put that up there. Show you guys. Okay. The light goes all weird when I go over there, doesn't it? Right. I had my little white theme with the 2 little extras in here. So we've got polar bear. Isn't he cute? And the interval die. So we had these at NCKP, the conference in Chicago. We don't have them online or anything, so you can basically only win them unless you see it us at a conference. So black and white theme going on there. Hope you like, monochrome classics, Laura. Okay. And then we've got 2 games. So this is lions, tigers, and bears. Oh my! This is great for beginners. So you've got a set which is just the note heads on the staff, and then you've got a set which is just letters, A, B, right? And then you've got a set which is piano keys. So you can mix and match them. You can do like memory games and pair games, and there's loads described in there with any 2 combinations, or if you want to be extreme, all 3. So I hope you like that one. And then, I'll just answer that question. This is an intervals die, so it's got intervals on it. I know it's kind of hard to see with the camera and stuff, but yeah, it's kind of focusing now. Get the idea? So second, right? So instead of numbers, you've got intervals. So it's just extra reinforcement. Anytime you're playing a game or randomizing any activity, you do it with intervals instead of a regular die. And then, they get to practice their intervals even more. And then the other game in here is lock and key. So in this one, I went like super beginner, and then more like solid intermediate. So you've got a good combo here. And yeah, this one is one of my personal favorites. So it plays a little bit like rummy. If you've ever played rummy or gin rummy, it's kind of similar to that. If you haven't, don't worry, it's simple to learn. By the way, all our like physical card games, they have a QR code on the back where you can go to watch me explain how to play it. So if you don't like reading instructions, you don't have to. But also there are written instructions on a card inside. And anyway, what you're doing in this one is matching the key signature in the treble clef and the bass clef, and then the relative major and minor keys. So C major and A minor, for example. So you're creating sets of 3 items that match together. And then there's wild cards as well, just for funsies. So, yeah. Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. Okay, so those will be on their way to you, Laura. Congratulations again. So the last lucky winner tomorrow will win the red guy that's been left on the shelf. And it's going to be something else fabulous. Are these your games, not dice? You mean the card games? Yeah, they're all our games. These are our special editions. So we printed special editions of 8 of our games, which are available as like printed copies. In general, all our games are on our membership and people download them and print them at home. And that's a great system. But for the ones that you use again and again, it's nice to have a really fancy printed version. And yeah, we printed 8 of them in preparation for going to the NCKP conference, and we still have them. So those are available on our Colourful Keys site if people want to buy them as well. Yeah, congratulations. Absolutely. Okay, we're going to wrap it up in a second here. So tomorrow is our last day. It's I know it's a Saturday, but if you happen to be free, it'll be 1 hour later than this one was. So if you happen to be free for that, that would be awesome. It'd be so great to finish off our birthday party in style together. And we're going to be celebrating by opening the last prize for a member and talking about fun in music lessons. How about that? Who could have predicted that I would leave fun until the last day? It's not like it's all what we're all about, is it? Right, so we're going to talk about fun tomorrow and what counts as being a fun teacher. And no, that doesn't mean just games. There's a lot more, I think, to what counts as fun. And it's a lot broader of a category of people than some people think it is. So we're going to talk about fun and doing fun your way, in your personality. It doesn't have to be goofy and, wear clothes that look like Dalmatians or something. If that's not you, it's about doing it your way and making your students feel like you're a fun teacher, because I think that is really valuable. So that's tomorrow's topic, 1 hour later than this one. Don't forget that the price of the membership is going up on Monday. So sign up before Monday. Don't rely on doing it at the last minute. Before Monday if you want to become a member and keep this current rate for as long as you stay a member. You'll lock in that rate. And if you want to test out our new practice app, that's at vividpractice.com. And we're happy to answer any questions there as well, since it's brand new and people are wondering about where they're going to move to after Shannara or just starting up a new practice app since September, etc. So yes, I hope you'll come find us both those places, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye.